Everybody else, get back! If you know.
How many warnings does Britain need before it finally wakes up? A place of worship attacked, innocent people murdered, and still our leaders say, we won't let hate divide us. But hate already has, and it's thriving in the cracks of our broken security system. Manchester didn't just witness another tragedy, it exposed how weak we've become in confronting extremism face to face. It was Thursday morning, Yom Kippur, the holiest day in the Jewish calendar. Worshippers arrived at Heaton Park Hebrew congregation in Crumpsall expecting reflection, prayer, and community. Instead, chaos erupted. A car plowed into people outside the synagogue, and a man armed with a knife tried to break inside. Screams filled the streets. One witness shouted, "He's got something on him," as the attacker struck at the synagogue windows, desperate to gain entry. Inside, bravery collided with terror. Rabbi Daniel Walker barricaded the doors, shielding the worshippers. "I was looking out the window at the man trying to get in, and I saw evil and hate," he said. "But I also saw genuine heroism. People ran to help others instead of running away." It was astonishing. In those terrifying minutes, courage and chaos collided in a way no one could forget. The attacker, 35-year-old Jihad al-Shireh, a British citizen born in Syria, was shot dead by police moments later. The vest he wore, appearing to be an explosive device, was later found to be non-viable. But 2 lives were lost. Melvin Kravitz, 66, and Adrian Dolby, 53. Several others suffered serious injury. Al-Shireh was unknown to counter-terror authorities. He had no prevent referral, no watch list alerts, a ghost in the system until he struck. Neighbors described him as quiet, isolated, a weightlifter who kept to himself. Yet extremism had quietly taken root. This wasn't just a failed moment of law enforcement, it was a systemic failure. A life lost, a community shattered, all because danger was allowed to go unseen. Leaders rushed to respond. Prime Minister Keir Starmer cut short his visit to Copenhagen, promising to protect the Jewish community.
On behalf of our country, I express my solidarity, but also my sadness that you still have to live with these fears. Nobody should have to do that. Nobody. And so I promise you that I will do everything in my power to guarantee you the security that you deserve, starting with a more visible police presence protecting your community.
Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood confirmed that al-Shireh had not been on the radar of counter-terror authorities. Deputy Prime Minister David Lammy attended vigils, calling for...
At this time, we know that a car was driven directly at members of the public outside the Heaton Park Hebrew Congregation Synagogue on Middleton Road, Crumpsall, in Manchester. The driver of the car was seen then to attack people with a knife. He was wearing about his body a vest which had the appearance of an explosive device. There were a large number of worshippers attending the synagogue at the time of this attack, but thanks to the immediate bravery of security staff and the worshippers inside, as well as the fast response of the police, the attacker was prevented from gaining
unity. But unity rings hollow when fear grips entire communities. British Jews began asking themselves, do we have a future in this country? The victims' lives deserve remembrance. Melvin Kravitz and Adrian Dolby were simply attending their place of worship when their lives were taken. Those inside survived only because of courage from Rabbi Walker, the synagogue's security staff, and ordinary worshippers. Children's schools closed, parents were terrified, neighborhoods were left questioning their safety. This wasn't just a tragedy, it was an alarm bell. Tensions ran high across Manchester. Pro-Palestinian demonstrations went ahead even as the city reeled from terror. Anger, grief, and fear collided on the streets. Chief Rabbi Sir Ephraim Mirvis spoke out. It wasn't just an attack on Jews. It was an attack on the values of our society. And he's right. When any religious minority is terrorized, the entire society's foundations shake. The attack exposed Britain's vulnerability to radical ideology. Extremism can hide, and vigilance is not optional. And yet, Amidst the horror, human courage shone. Rabbi Walker, security staff, and worshippers formed a human shield. Police risked their lives in split-second decisions. Communities lit candles, held vigils, and publicly condemned the violence. The human spirit fights back, even when darkness seems overwhelming. Manchester's attack is a lesson in fear and failure. Extremism strikes fast, and Britain's response often comes too slow. The nation mourned, leaders spoke, vigils were held, but bravery and awareness matter more than words. Extremism thrives in silence, and Manchester showed what happens when it goes unchecked. The question remains, how many more warnings before Britain wakes up? How many more lives will be lost in places that should be safe? Manchester was more than a tragedy. It was a mirror, a reflection of systemic weakness, rising radicalization, and a society struggling to protect its citizens. Courage survived, yes, but will lessons be learned? Or will we wait for the next warning, the next bloodied morning, to finally act? Because bravery continues to shine in the streets, in synagogues, in ordinary people facing extraordinary fear. But without vigilance, without leadership willing to confront extremism, without compromise, darkness will continue to find cracks. The morning of Yom Kippur will never be forgotten, and neither should the lesson it brought. Extremism waits for no one, and Britain cannot afford to.